Oh, shit.
The graphics, okay, yeah, of course. It looks great. Especially for the time. When did it come out?
2012, maybe.
2012. Yeah, I guess for 2012 it's pretty good. I thought it was even earlier than that, so I was gonna give it more props. Hi, everybody. We have a special Soundbooth Theater Live tonight. We are barely doing anything. It's just us chilling out, you know? Hold on. There's a extra window open. I gotta go kill it.
While he kills the window, let's talk about the Way of Water, folks. Avatar. The Way of Water, finally, after a decade, it's out. And the graphics are gonna be so much doper than the graphics from the last one,
From the
which was
original.
like 10 years ago.
Here's the thing, though. There's video games now. So, like... so,
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, Avatar is like... To me, like, I did not enjoy the story. It just seems too derivative of, like, other stuff I'd seen.
But what about the music?
The music's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Avatar, that's the thing that's different about the world of Avatar is their water is wet.
Nah, I got hard-ass water at my house. Let
Me
tell you.
too. Goddess doesn't know what to do, man. She's
We're
afraid
just
of it.
celebrating James Cameron and his accomplishments. He swore that that your eyeballs would cry when you watched it because you can't help it because
For the first one
technology.
or the new one?
The new one. He's like, you're gonna cry, and everybody was like, we were crying. We watched a little bit. We're crying. Everybody was crying, so I think when I go, I'm gonna cry too.
I don't think I'm gonna cry.
But what
I feel
about
like
all those Avatar
okay.
babies?
So Soundbooth Theater Live, that's us. That's us right now. We are about to do one user. What do you call it? Classic poll. Is this a classic poll or a troll poll one?
Classic.
This one's classic. So we have, I believe, is it the tutorial scene that we're doing for Aethermarked? I have 2 emails.
Oh shit! Sounds like somebody's got to roll dice.
Uh-oh.
Let's roll some dice.
And also, I am having an awesome day. Benjamin Wagner, thank you for asking. Kaylin Wilkinson, good to see you too. Goddess, good to see you here. Sarah King is here. Gary Dose is here. World War Wit? Is that Will Watt?
Boom! Jeff is back.
I'm back. Wags is here. Benjamin Wagner. RCL, I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome. Thank you for coming. And anyone else I can see in the chat. Those are all the people I saw in the chat. Please say hi there if you want me to say hi back. Before we get started, let's get into some news. I know that some of you may not know this, but we have a new app! It's been a couple weeks now. People seem to love it. I actually haven't checked reviews on the Google Play Store in a little while, so maybe I'll do that. But they have been going up. Our average has been going up for it, which is a very, very big relief because, you know, people didn't like our first app, and that's understandable. It's at 3.3 now, so we went up 0.6, which is not easy to do, considering we already had like 90 something reviews before we launched the new app. So it's getting better. People are liking it better. Oh, we have more people. Mr. Busa, 1300. We have Burn Dean in the audience. Scott Kidder or Kidler. Good to see you guys. So yeah, if you haven't yet, go check it out. Go check out the new app and tell people about it if you like it, and give us reviews on the Play Store and on the Apple App Store. Tell people about it. Tell people how much better it is, or tell people things that you still would like to see improved. Definitely we want to make you guys happy for coming along with us on our independent journey. We know it's a lot to ask to pick up audiobooks and any kind of audio productions
What up, Van?
on a new app. So I really appreciate it. And so tell us how you feel. Also, uh, the Halloween sale is over. Unfortunately, for those of you who might have missed it, we were offering 15% off. But now everything's full priced again. Hey, it's still there though. You can still buy things. And our first episode of Seance High Falls is still free, of course. All of our first episodes of all of our cinematic audio is free. So make sure and go pick up anything you haven't experienced yet to see if you would like to continue the journey. Tomorrow, Seance Episode 2 comes out. And actually, this is, like, I liked the first episode. The second episode is much better. And that's because we get to really meet our main character, Oliver Hollow, who... he's just so charming and wholesome, and naive, and watching him go through this story and sort of go head to head with who we already introduced you to, Lena Fox, who is a con artist and not the most wholesome of characters. The fact that these two are going to be meeting soon is really where the drama from this entire show comes from. So please, if you haven't already, go pick up episode 1 of Seance High Falls, written by Mark Harris, directed by Harlan Guthrie, the same guy who brought you Malevolent. Also, we had our finale episode of Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon, so looking forward to seeing more reviews come in for that. I believe there's 13 reviews up so far, but I know there's a lot more people than that who have listened through the whole thing. If you haven't already, please do give us reviews, and please share that series with people. That first episode is still up. Yeah, and I'm sad too. No more Kaiju to work on, man. It was such a great show. It was so fun to play. So yeah, definitely go check that out if you haven't yet. It's such a great show. It will tear you up. There's a great scene where we say goodbye to Banksy, right? Oh my god, that part was heart-wrenching. But spoilers. Yeah, well, we didn't say exactly why he was saying goodbye to Banksy, but all great. Yeah, so go check out Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon, and of course, last but not least, Vampire Queen did really, really well on the platform. That is Sarah King's book. It's technically book 3 of Guardians of the First Realm? First Realm? Yeah, Guardians of the First Realm. But all of those books are kind of standalone, except Vampire Queen's its own series. And we're gonna be bringing out more of those soon. Before we have another Vampire Queen on the platform, we're just about done with Alaskan Fury. And so Alaskan Fury is going to come to our platform exclusively, and we're bringing an Alaskan Fire over as well, which is on Audible right now. So watch out for that, guys. We're hoping that's going to be coming out in December.
Sounds crushing it.
Let's see. So Vampire Queen is the title we got the most reviews on, and that's because Sarah went crazy trying to get people out there and getting reviews, and that really helped. I think there's like more than 40 reviews on there now. So really appreciate that effort, and please, guys, if you reviewed it and you believe it was awesome, share it with other people. Tell people about it. We need more customers. We need more people picking up audiobooks on our platform. Aside from that, one more piece of news. Chrysalis 2 has officially been given to Aethon Books to publish. So they will be released. Let's see. I think the pre-order's coming out November 15th, and then the actual release is November 30th. So Chrysalis 2 will be out very, very soon. So what do we got here? I think that we're just going to do this tutorial from Aethermarked. But I don't know. Maybe I should do a short story or something. What else can we do? We don't have any other narrators for tonight. Yes, thank you, Sarah, for telling everybody about it. Avatar Mahmood. I just saw that. I'm really loving your weave today, Ahmed.
Yeah, that's so I can get extra closure when we, do that thing where we put our together, our hair,
Right.
animals and ladies and or dudes or whatever, Pandora.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. Well, here goes. Let's get some Aethermarked on. This is by Damien Hansen, who, by the way, we did also publish Dean Hansen's story, Nightmare Spider Apocalypse, on our platform. Dean Hansen what is he, 10 years old now? I think he was 8 when we published that, or 9. And he has this condition that he's fighting through. It's a brain condition, and he's still able to write an entire novella as a child, as a small child. So all proceeds from those sales go straight to him, by the way. But Dean Hansen wrote Nightmare Spider Apocalypse. Damien Hansen, his father, writes LitRPG, and Aethermarked is one of the LitRPGs that's come out by him. I don't know how long it's been since Aethermarked came out. Can you guys look that shit up? Anyway, Aethermarked, Aethermarked, by Damien Hansen. That is out on Amazon right now, I'm quite sure. But let's see what we have here for this description of the scene. Oh, here we go. Here it is, Aethermarked, Volume 1. This has been requested for the poll, the classic poll. So if you guys like what you hear here, you can check out the rest of it there. All right, Ginny has just begun the game called Aethermarked, the world's first fully immersive system in which the user jacks themselves in and uploads to the game server. She has just finished choosing her stats, race, and character class, and now she must go through the system's rather unique tutorial system. Characters: Ginny, or Felania. In this scene, the normally reserved Ginny now has the chance to be someone new, and she seizes it, speaking and reacting with the uncharacteristic boldness that will later define her in-game character. Goblins, they are guttural, and they don't speak English well. Okay, Selenia, a retired soldier turned nanny. She is bold in her words, but afraid of her young charge. All right, so I'm playing a bunch of chicks today. Ginny opened her eyes, and she was surprised to find herself in the towering confines of a crib. An exclamation mark hovered in the corner of her vision, and she selected it with her mind. On the eve of the Marcroft, thunderous skies foretold an event of great importance, and under the storm split sky, in the home of a great mage, a daughter was born. What did her parents christen her? Ginny was surprised. She hadn't really thought about it. Usually, when she joined her VR games, she simply put her own name in because, quite frankly, no one was ever going to know who she was in real life anyways. But this was actually living in the game, and it felt like a chance to shed her skin and leave that old sad sack behind. She thought back to happier times, to times when she used to revel in the movies and books of swords and sorcery, and one hero came to mind. "Felania," she said. "My name is Felania." She understood her words clearly, but they came out as the giggle and burbles of a 9-month-old baby. Still, it was enough. The system registered her name and even spelled it exactly as she wished it to be. "You are Felania, first daughter of the House of Trevelyan. Your parents are Regina Trevelyan, High Artificer of the Aetherium, and Arnorius Trevelyan, High Maester. You live in an affluent household within the lands of Locarum. It is a wonderful life full of love, laughter, and luxury. Until one day." Her vision changed, and suddenly she was a dainty little girl in a bonnet and sundress. She looked about herself in awe. She sat with a woman in the black and white. She sat with a woman in the black and white of a maid's outfit under a towering apple tree. Under them was a blanket, atop which was a basket filled with a mouth-watering array of fruits, vegetables, and smoked meats. "Oh, Felania, what a beautiful day for a picnic, don't you think?" Wait, who's saying this? With a woman. Okay. "Oh, Felania, what a beautiful day for a picnic, don't you think?" Felania couldn't stop gaping. They were atop a very tall hill, and she could see for miles around them. She looked down at her tiny kid legs and wondered how on earth she had even made it up here. She opened her mouth to say something, but was interrupted.
"Chuglock!"
An inhuman voice bellowed.
"Chuglock! Take my son!"
A gray-skinned being just a tad taller than herself was yelling at them in a tangled and monstrous tongue. He must have been hiding in the undergrowth of the hillish pinon trees that skirted the rocky edges opposite the beautiful and gentle incline of the trail. Felania saw 2 more sets of hands pop over the ledge and grab hold. He had allies, and they were coming fast. In Aethermarked, random encounters are a fact of life. In Aethermarked, random encounters are a fact of life. Though their frequency declines in more settled areas and after the completion of certain global events. Unfortunately for your maid, Selinia, she and your parents felt the lands around your manor had become safe enough for the 2 of you to enjoy a nice picnic atop Fulvian Hill. Their mistake is yours to correct. Stand up and defend yourself." Felania stood up and put her little hands up. Selinia stood up next to her in a much more martial stance that hinted at some past training. "Begone, goblins! These hills are human lands!"
"You is gives us the food, or yous is deadly,"
the lead goblin spit out in a thick and slurried accent. "These goblins aren't that tough, but to a 5-year-old child they must most certainly present a difficult challenge. To engage in active skill or spell during combat, you must think or say the category name followed by the spell or nickname, skill name. Try this now." Felania targeted the lead goblin with an angry stare. "Spell push!" Her blue ether mark flared, and she saw the goblin screech before scraping back just over the lip of the edge, and then teetering over backward down the steep and unforgiving side of the hill. "Very good. You have used 2 mana and defeated an enemy. Often your enemies will be tactical in their interactions, especially if there are other players in the game. However, these little guys are well known for their impulsive nature. Lucky you. You can regain mana points via various potions, crystals, and items scattered throughout the land, but most commonly, these are regained through time and rest." Hold on a second, okay. Mana points are regained at a rate of 1 per minute. This can be accelerated by sleep and rest. When in a restive state, these rates increase by a factor of 10. The goblins, who had just been waiting while the voice talked, both sprung into action when he finished. One charged at Felania.
"You killed me brother,"
he sputtered. She saw that he held a short but wicked blade in his right hand and another in his left. The other said,
"Spell slice,"
and a bloody gash tore into Selenia's side. She cried out in pain. "I'll save you, Selenia!" Felania shouted. Something about this game, the tutorial, it just made her feel like this was her life, her treasured friend that she needed to defend against the evils of the wild. She shifted and tried to kick out at the rushing goblin fiend, but missed entirely and fell on her ass. On very rare occasions, your system attack will be so misjudged and so mistaken that you will suffer a critical fail. Under normal circumstances, this would be accompanied with a debuff that reflects the nature of your fumble. A suitable one here would be overextended with a base plus to hit and damage by the enemy for a period of 1 minute. However, since this is the tutorial, the debuff will not be applied. "Gee, thanks," she said from the ground. The combatants had paused again to allow the voice to instruct its student. "The opposite is true as well. A system attack that is so well aimed and struck, accompanied with perfect random dice integers, will allow you a critical hit. Try it now." The enemies remained paused. Felania got up cautiously. Still, no one was moving. She put her fingers into the shape of scissors and jabbed them into the goblin's eyes. Everyone started moving again, and the goblin reared back, squealing. A hand slapped over his eyes.
"Jargon for his mine eyes!"
he yelled. Felania saw that the exclamation of a system notification had appeared, but she didn't want to check it yet. "Spell push!" she yelled, and the second goblin toppled off the cliff. "Congratulations, you have defeated another goblin. Also, you have a system notification. If you had checked it, you would have seen a notification that you had scored a critical hit and that the enemy had received a 1-minute blindness debuff. In the regular game world, these notifications will not stop combat, so learn to check them on the fly." "Yeah, noted," Felania replied as combat resumed. Selenia was holding one hand to her wound and looking in amazement at her young charge. The last goblin was doing the same.
"Spell slice!"
the goblin yelled. An invisible blade slashed down her leg, leaving a bloody mess in its wake.
"Youch!"
Felania screamed.
"That hurt a lot!"
Pain settings can be dialed up or down in the settings menu. You have just been hit for 4 points of damage. In the regular game, that would leave you with 49 hit points. However, as a child, you have been drained to 1 hit point. There exist a myriad number of potions, foods, and items that can give you back your hit points quickly. However, most commonly, people allow their wounds to heal naturally at a rate of 1 hit point every 10 minutes. The healing rate increases tenfold when resting or otherwise encamped. In other words, don't get hit again. Felania stumbled as the game kicked in again, and this time she targeted the sneering creature with her eyes. Several spells popped up in her vision, along with hand motions for her to cast. The pull spell was the simplest. Just pull towards herself as if she had an invisible rope in her hands. She did, and a barely visible, shimmering orange rope shot through the air and seized the goblin's torso. It fell forwards face first onto a stone and groaned. Two spells, my child! What sort of being are you?" Selenia gasped, her face a rictus of awe and amazement. She bent down and retrieved a large carving knife. As the goblin got back up off the blood-drenched ground, she flung the blade, and it embedded itself into the goblin's already skinned and peeled face, flopping it back down to the earth where it shuddered, then died. "Congratulations. Your encounter has been victorious. In normal gameplay, you are rewarded experience points for the completion of a great deal of tasks. Combat experience is accrued with every successful hit on an enemy, even if you flee from the encounter. Bonus experience points are earned at the end of a successful encounter. Prestige points are awarded at the successful conclusion of battles and as a reward for the completion of various quests and tasks. All of this you will learn more conclusively during gameplay." When the voice stopped, Felania unfroze and started to stumble over to Selenia. But the world faded away. All right, so that's Aethermarked. I can see that some people found that to be a supple read. I'm very happy about that. Suppleness is something that I strive for in all things. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed that, make sure to check the description of this YouTube video to find the link of the link for this Kindle book. It is on Amazon, Aethermarked by Damien Hansen. So, that's the end of our request poll. We have some time. So, I guess what I want to open things up to right now is a Q&A.
An Avatar Way of the Water Q&A.
If you guys want to ask us questions about Avatar, you can. But it's been a really long, hard few weeks, a few months really for us. And I know some of you have been with us on the whole journey. I know some of you just heard from us recently because we made such a fuss over the app. I don't know if anybody has questions about the app, about what it's like to design an app, about production stuff, about things that are coming up. We have a very important question coming in from Sarah King. Are thighs supple, Jeff? Not necessarily. The most
They
attractive.
are on Pandora.
The most attractive thighs, I would say, are supple.
Blue ones.
Did we produce Avatar? We're not credited to have produced Avatar.
Yet.
There are contract issues. You know, we were a young company. when we did all the visual effects for Avatar. And that those are all the actors are actually. I mean, I think you all know that they're computer generated. I actually did all the voices for that movie as well. So yeah, I mean, we pretty much made it, but James Cameron just kind of like, you know how lawyers are, you know how people in Hollywood are. They know how to take advantage of people, and like we were young, we were naive. We made this whole movie for James Cameron. Honestly, I shouldn't really even say that because it's still, but this is a relatively small audience. I don't think it's going to get out. Really.
Oh, Jesus, Caleb. This kid.
So, yeah, I mean, technically, like, legally, did we produce Avatar? No.
Do we
I'll just put it that way.
the movie?
We'll put it that way. Legally, no. Soundbooth Theater did not produce the movie Avatar. All right, so Goddess Ziri says my bones are made of rubber. I would call those, if you have thighs, then I would call your thighs supple. If your bones are indeed made of rubber.
What is?
Yeah. She's got a cool, like, scorpion mask on.
Yeah. She's scared. It's like a grill. It's made of gold.
It is a grill!
Grill. She's killing it with that grill. Every time I look at that picture, I get scared. Wait, Goddess Ziri.
Okay, so what else, guys? Any other questions? Just bring them out. They don't even have to. You can fuck with me if you want to. If any of you guys have lawyer friends who that you think you can help us with our low-key lawsuit against James Cameron for stealing our work.
That's what Soundbooth is like 20 years from now. Us suing James Cameron repeatedly in an attempt to. I'm gonna take this one off. I'm gonna put this one on instead.
Oh, wow.
I like this better.
Yeah, a little bit more hot. Okay, what is Soundbooth like 20 years from now in our dreams? Okay, so 20 years from now, as in a 25-year-old company?
Well, I'm going to look like this in 20 years for sure.
Yeah, 100%. But what is Soundbooth like in 20 years? That's a good question, man.
That's a very good question.
I don't know. I don't think that far ahead. I just think about, okay, what's the next thing? Our platform, that may be the biggest indicator of what things are going to be like in 20 years. So let's say next year or 2 years from now, we really don't gain any more traction. Then it's not going to really be a factor. We're going to have to dump it and just go back to audiobooks, right?
When we're all trapped in our high rises because the ocean has exceeded sea level, then we can sit and listen to SBT books forever.
I mean, I guess we could, and in that case, like, why would we even need to keep making things? There's so many Soundbooth Theater audiobooks out there. I think all the people who survive and are still in the high rises, they'll have plenty to listen to. So I would be, like Tarzan, I think.
Dang, these books ain't even in VR.
Yeah. But 20 years from now, I would like it if we were, I guess if we were handling bigger IP, or Dungeon Crawler Carl, I can see being gigantic in 20 years. Like, how some of the other IP that maybe started 20 years ago that, were kind of popular have snowballed to now. I can really see Dungeon Crawler Carl being one of those where it's like, what's the word? Ubiquitous in our culture. And so I imagine we might be working on more stuff from them. Hopefully, what I would like is for Soundbooth Theater to become a brand that way more people know, not just in audiobooks, but in the rest of the media sphere, right? Like, I would like it if Soundbooth Theater was the sound studio that worked on an animation, that was huge, or a movie that was huge, or a video game that was huge. We're ready to do that stuff whenever the opportunity comes along. What we've been doing, making these audio experiences, if I'm being honest, is probably much harder than actually. I mean, like, we've been making those motion comics, right? That we haven't released yet, but we will. We're going to start a new YouTube channel with motion comics someday soon. And I don't know, like, what do you think, Ahmed? Do you think it's easier to do sound effects for those than it is to do sound effects for just our regular audio, cinematic audio?
Different. It's different because you're focusing on the image as well as the voice.
Can you even understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's different because you're focusing
On the image
and the voice. So it's you have to plan differently. It's a similar process, but not the same. And I think, yeah,
there's a lot more reference. There's a lot more things, like more specific things brought out in a visual medium that it's like, oh, okay, well, then you need to hear this that you can see happening, right? You need to hear this. And if you guys ever like watch a movie but then like close your eyes and just listen to the audio, you'll notice a lot of it isn't very good. Like, especially one thing that really irks me about movies and TV is I hear sound effects that have been recycled over and over and over the course of many, many, many different movies and TV shows and video games. There's these certain stock sound effects that get used over and over and over that just, it pisses me off when I hear them again. Though that's the one biggest culprit, or the one source I always think of when I hear video game and TV and movie sound effects is Doom. The video game Doom. So many different TV shows and movies use the same sound effects that Doom used. And I don't know if Doom was using a sound effects bank that everybody else was using at the time. But, that's something that I'm sick of. And if I were doing if I was doing sound, doing sound for a movie or video games, I would never use those. I would always want to make sure that my crew is creating new sound effects. And when I say creating new sound effects, what we do to create new sound effects is take several different sound effects and we blend them. And we take the things that we like, and then they blend to a point you can't recognize any single aspect of it, and it becomes its own thing. So yeah, in 20 years, I would like to see Soundbooth Theater as one of the producer credits. Like, when you watch a movie, there's like 2, 3, 4 different producer, what do they call them? What do they call those?
Producers?
No. They're like logos. Like it'll show us
production
20th Century Fox.
Production companies. They're production companies.
And, like fucking TriStar, whatever.
Yeah, it would be dope.
Like, I would like it if Soundbooth Theater showed up like that.
Honestly, the more I think about it, the more, video games, man. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, I feel like if Kaiju was made into an actual game, that would be probably the best way to like experience it. Ultimately, like not even a movie per se, like that's cool. Yeah. But I feel like all the new mediums that are out now have changed the game, man. Like Kaiju, the VR game, right? Could you imagine like going through like
that's what
all the guts and blood and like experiencing Dukes, and the AI's messing with you the whole time. It's like going on and off and glitching and taking you to different places, and you're just like, and
that's what Matt was saying. He was saying out of anything that he's made, he would like to see Kaiju as a video game.
Ooh. Yeah, that would be amazing. So a part of me is kind of like, it would be cool. My youth says, "Oh, I want to be in a movie," but my gut and instinct says it's got to be something beyond all of that, like new medium or people ingest media in all kinds of ways now, in new ways than they ever did before.
Oh, Scraw brings up the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah.
overused so
it is.
much.
It's funny that you picked that stuff out, Jeff, because I do not. And I do this, and I do not pick it out. Like I'm sure my brain on some level, but I don't. I'm just like, yeah, okay, that sounds alright. But it's true. When I close my eyes and I listen, it's not the depth is not nearly as interesting as where the places that we go now.
Okay.
There's just a lot more going on.
So I saw this question earlier. The answer
size
is
thing?
14
centimeters.
I'm sticking to it. What else we got? What question? Sarah
But
says now
Jeff,
he
what
has
is
to answer
your
what
shoe size?
question?
So lame. He skipped it. They want to know your shoe size because they want to send you some Sarah shoes.
I already told
They
them.
want to send you mixed matched clogs, plastic clogs.
I already told them my shoe size. I don't see the question that Sarah is referring to. That I have to
Wait,
answer.
which question? It's the shoe size question. They really want to.
Was that it?
Chat wants to know your
That was
shoe
it? I told
size,
you
dude.
14. Okay.
14, yeah. He's a audio voice actor on the inside and clown on the outside.
Here's a question. Hello, you classy, classical cavalcade of creative creators of the audio. How are you? Good. All right. What question? What are you talking about? Sarah's, I don't know what that is.
Is it not the question? Is it not the shoe size question?
What did I skip?
That's not a shoe size, she said. It is for Shaquille O'Neal.
14 is a shoe size. What mouth salad are you talking about?
He means this. Hello, you classy, classical cavalcade of creative creators of the audio. How are you?
Okay. Yeah, so what else? You guys bring up more questions. We're down.
Sarah's seen
Ahmed's
your
here to answer
feet.
questions too if anybody.
Sarah's seen your feet, and she does, and she says she doesn't believe they're 14. I think that's
believe what you want.
They're not.
All right.
14.
So who is Jess, and what is your shoe size, Jess?
Wait, who's Jess?
I don't know, but Kaylin wants to know her shoe size.
Oh wait, did you just capitalize on a typo? Because Kaylin did this, right? So I
okay. All right. What else you guys got? Okay.
Yeah, I do notice like the Marvel movies also, like the sounds are not like, they're cool, but I don't know what it is. Like,
I honestly, I think that
Marvel movies when you have so much visual imagery that's so beautiful, like the audio kind of like can be, doesn't have to be, but can be less, right?
Yeah, it could be. Okay, Scraw asks, is SBTL a weekly Wednesday thing? It's a every 2 weeks thing. It's second and fourth Tuesdays, Wednesdays of the month. But
and there's usually more stuff going on than whatever's.
Yeah. This is a bare bones.
This is
one
us
because
the
no other
week
narrative can make
after
it tonight.
the sale, and me like spacing on a little bit on getting everything set to a high degree.
But what I think we need to switch it up. I think we need to switch the format up a bit. I think we should have a meeting about that soon. Because I think that the poll, we just kind of let it sit, and I think we need to get like a little more community participation in that, or make that just somehow more interesting. I don't know. I think it's time to mix some things up and get people excited about this show again. I saw something else.
Is it Otaku's here?
Okay, Kaylin also says, Jeff, I want to meet you in person at DragonCon. I'm probably going to be at the next DragonCon, so maybe that'll happen. But I know that we're working real hard we're not working that hard. We're waiting to hear back for the application, but we should have a booth at Planet Comic-Con here in Kansas City in March. I believe March 17th through 19th, I believe. So if the next public Soundbooth Theater appearance, that's when it's going to be, at the very latest. There might be more. The polls are in our Facebook group. So if you search Soundbooth Theater Live,
Yeah, I'm gonna pull
exclamation
this up.
point, you should be able to find our Facebook group.
Yeah, hang on, let me pull it up. Okay. So this is our Facebook group, everybody. Do they
Here's
see it, or am I
Otaku.
talking to myself? Okay, all right.
This is a question you probably answered before, but how did you get into Soundbooth Theater, and how does one become somebody who reads audiobooks for a living? Okay. So, I got into Soundbooth Theater by creating it, first of all. Now, the reason I named it Soundbooth Theater is because way back, I'd say 2 or 3 years into my narration career, I saw this new thing happening on the internets called streaming. And it was not just people streaming themselves playing video games, but streaming themselves doing all sorts of stuff. Oh God, that's awful.
It's so awful.
That's like,
but it's one of those things
it's
that
like-
you just can't.
it's like when you
It's
do
like
this with
boxing.
your nose and like go all the way up. So yeah, I said, okay, well, maybe I can narrate streaming. So I tried it. I just tried it on the service. It was Twitter's streaming. What was it called? Periscope. And I named the show Soundbooth Theater Live. And so really, this show is older than the company. Because it was another couple years before I started the company. So this is, I don't know, this is just kind of a tradition. This is sort of the core, in a weird way, the core of the company. This is where it came from. I just liked the name, and so I just named the company after it, after I started hiring more people and collaborating more with other narrators. And things have just kind of snowballed, man. I mean, none of this is planned. We didn't plan any of this stuff. It's just been day by day we have new ideas and we try to execute, and it just has grown. So
Yeah, Jeff has a lot of old videos from back in the day.
I have a lot. So how you get into narration, man, you just, I don't know. You just start reading. You just start narrating. You start recording yourself. I started by trying to audition for all sorts of different voice acting gigs on voices.com, and almost none of them had anything to do with audiobooks. And it took me a while to even audition for an audiobook because they seemed like, that's not very good pay for the amount of work you're doing. Well, you think that until you start auditioning and not getting jobs and auditioning. Like, I would audition for 100 jobs a week, and I would land maybe 1 or 2. So even if I'm getting paid, even if I land a job and I get paid $100 an hour for whatever I have to do, the job isn't very big, right? Like, I'm going to deliver 10 to 15 minutes of audio for $200 to $300. But I have to subsidize the work of auditioning and failing to get the job all, who knows how many times first, right? So what you do is, once I found an audiobook job, I was like, holy shit, this is actually, not only did I get paid way more because, it's a lot more hours of work, but I'm getting paid for all of it. But it was actually so much more fun than anything I had done in the voice acting industry up to that point, because I was able to be the narrator, who is basically, if you think of it as a show, I'm the director, and I'm also the casting director, and I'm every character. So I got to really stretch my range. So it's all independent. Like, getting into audiobook narration is completely independent now. If you really want to go the orthodox jobby route, then you can basically, oh, look at me. Oh, jeez.
This is like it's like the second video that you ever made.
Really?
Yeah.
At
The first
least on
one
YouTube.
I didn't see. Yeah, that's what
At least on
I
YouTube,
guess.
yeah.
You must have been making stuff on Twitch before that.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
where it
on
was?
Periscope, right? And back then I had a closet. So that booth that you were just looking at,
Wait, no, I'm putting.
one, that booth that you're looking at is actually right next to a closet I used to use as my booth. And the closet was literally 2 feet wide. And when I first started, it had a pole, for hanging clothes on, and I put clothes hangers up, and then I put a comforter over these clothes hangers.
This is 115/217, Matthew.
Yeah, so almost 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And when I did that, I could only really be in the booth for 20, 30 minutes at a time before I would almost die of a heat stroke. So I'd have to, get in and out of the booth frequently. It was a nightmare, but I had to do it. I didn't have money, so I couldn't buy a fancy booth like this. It has been a climb. But hey, if you want to do it, you gotta just do it. There's not really much advice to give.
This is
Start
like
looking up
old Jeff
microphones. Look
giving
up.
advice to young Jeff.
Yeah.
Young Jeff's like, yeah, I don't know. I think I would do my own thing.
That's what I did. Yeah. So you just got to do it, guys. You just got to.
Yeah.
It's like music.
You gotta
It's almost like music.
You gotta get unsick of the sound of your own voice. That's the first.
Yeah, that was
first
tough.
step. You gotta
was tough.
get so used to your voice that you're no longer like blinded by it, right? And then once you get to there, then you can start manipulating it, and
Yeah. It's a long, hard road. Don't do it unless you want to do it. This is not a job that you can expect to make a lot of money from. It took me a while to make good money, and only because I did it in the wrong way, basically. I didn't listen to the orthodoxy, and I set up my business the way I wanted to set it up. And if I had gone the way they wanted me to go, I'd be making pretty good money, but I wouldn't have been able to start a company like this. This is all, just me breaking the rules. So, yeah, I don't recommend doing that either. In order for me to recommend doing that, I have to know that you're good at breaking the rules, right? I don't even think I'm good at breaking the rules. I just plugged my nose and jumped. So there's no other way around
There's
it.
but also you work very hard. Like that's just FYI, everybody. He put in a lot of hours into his.
Yeah,
trade.
I still do.
That's another well, yeah, but I mean that's another huge part of it. He spends a lot of time in that little booth.
But I will say,
stinky with farts.
I will say I worked. Back that Jeff that you just saw on that other YouTube video. That Jeff worked a lot more hours than I do now. Probably at least another 10 hours per week, because it was just, that's.
I work at least 10 hours per week. That's what he's saying, right?
Yeah. It was only when I started building up a crew around me and building up, it was like I felt like other people could keep the lights on, that I was able to reluctantly pull back on work hours. And even now it's like,
Sarah,
Crocs
not unless
are
you're
like
running
the perfect shoe. Yeah, unless you care
you're surviving.
what you look like, or want to run,
or surviving, or
let's see. What else we got? Do we have?
And they
any
also,
other
you
questions?
can't even stealth in these, right? They just squeak like wow, 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 wow. They just when you walk.
Don't they? I think they make like sound like clown shoes, right? Like a squeaky toy. I think that's how they sound. Richard Smith says Crocs are based. are very squeaky. See, I figured. I didn't even have to like wear them or listen to them or experience them. I just look at them and know, oh, those sound like clown shoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they look like clown shoes, just less attractive. Richard Smith will be wearing Crocs in Vegas.
Oh, Rich, you're gonna wear Crocs on? Aren't you from the East Coast?
Yeah.
I'm busting Rich's chops.
What else we got? Do we have any other questions? Come on, y'all. Any other questions? I'm open. We're an open book today, and for Ahmed as well.
Yeah, nobody has any questions. They're just like, they can't even look at me, I bet you. Just like, just try not to look at it. I'm gonna be an avocado now here. Oh, that one's...
Here's a question.
I'm an old man and I just discovered Snapchat, so that's why I'm like losing my mind over here.
Here's a question. Would you spike your hair for a cold read? No. Unless it was like a very important cold read. And besides, my hair is too long to spike. I don't think it would...
You could spike your hair. Oh, well, not at that length. You're right.
Yeah,
it would be very difficult.
Yeah.
You could do it. It would just take all
Kaylin
of the
Wilkinson
product.
says, rate Rings of Power out of 10. I haven't watched it, so I can't.
Rate Rings of Power out of 10.
Yeah.
I got to episode 3, and that's when I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry. I can't. I had to, like, after you watch the first episode, you have to, like, go and read a Tolkien novel just to understand what the hell. What are you even doing? What's even happening? So I had to go and, like, learn all this stupid mythology until I finally got caught up. And then after I got caught up, I felt like I already, like, I got what I needed.
This.
Like,
yeah,
I was like, I don't need to watch this. Also, you finished it. Oh, you didn't even make it past episode 1. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You were smart. I had faith for some reason because of Peter Jackson.
Berndean says Liberty Spikes. I mean, I guess I could do that, but how many bottles of gel do you need?
Gel? Isn't that spray? Or
is it spray? How do they do that?
It's a lot. Like I don't
know. It's like more product than hair. It's like lacquer.
But young Jeff,
it's probably lacquer.
Young Jeff could definitely have his hair spiked.
Oh, dude, I used to spike my hair when I was in.
If you cut your hair though, won't it look like that? Just like that?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. I want to address what shows do you watch? Matthew Primitive says. Let's see. I'm watching Chainsaw Man right now. On a
Wait, where are
basis.
you watching that?
Hulu.
Oh, it's on Hulu. Oh.
Yeah, and this is a rare thing. I had I'm just a little bit further in the manga than I am in the anime. And I have to say, it's like beat for beat the anime or the manga. Like they did a really great job of staying faithful to the source material. But they did a great job of making it worth watching as well, even though I'm
a cartoon?
reading the manga. Yeah, it's an anime.
Oh, okay. Thank goodness.
So yeah, definitely check out Chainsaw Man on Hulu.
Because when you look at this image, it's like this. If it's not an anime, I can't even imagine. It'd be a disaster.
Yep.
His head is a chainsaw?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
It's hilarious. It is one of the weirdest, most fucked up shows I've seen in a while. Let's see. Hold on. I'm not watching any other shows right now, but what I have finished recently was oh no, what is his name? The Del Toro director. I think it's Del Toro. Guillermo.
Pinocchio?
Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities.
That was on
so
Netflix.
Good. So good. Watch that. Something else I saw on Netflix recently that I liked.
I'm gonna make a lot of Star Wars nerds mad, but Andor is just I just can't. I got to the second episode.
I haven't watched any Disney Plus originals that I like.
It might be the best Star. I don't know. It's cool because it just shows a lot of like oppression and it feels very like today.
Does
like
it?
very dystopian.
Yeah, I hate that.
And
I don't want
to.
Look, it's sci-fi. Please stop.
Fighting and I don't know.
Don't make it like today. Make it like it when it is. That's what it should be like. Yeah, I can't think of anything else I've watched recently. What I'm looking forward to is Invincible.
Season 2.
Season 2. I don't know when that's
Invincible
coming out,
excellent.
but I cannot wait for that.
Excellent. Yeah.
I have not watched House of the Dragon. Someone mentioned that.
I'm up to like episode.
I don't care about that either.
My wife likes it more than I do. I think I don't know. I don't know what it is with me lately. It's just I think kaiju broke me or something.
Right? No, that's the thing. I'm reading comics. That's what I'm doing.
And now
fuck
when I
TV,
watch, I'm just
fuck movies, fuck all that. Read comics, guys.
I'm listening to the 3 Body Problem series right now, which is a Chinese science fiction novel. And it's translated into English. I'm listening to it, and the narrator's pretty good. And that one it's hard sci-fi and it's beautiful. It's philosophy, it's sociology, it's a thrilling story about like Earth versus I won't say anymore.
Okay.
But it's that's had me captured personally.
I want to address something real quick. Well, hold on. I saw one more question from Sarah that I thought might actually be relevant. Let's see. I think she asked what my favorite anime is. Where'd it go? I'm not showing you my tracking information.
That guy needs Crocs. I just had to read that.
I think didn't Sarah ask that? What my favorite anime is? I'm pretty sure she did. That's gonna have to be Ninja Scroll.
Oh wow, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's right up there with the Fist of the North Star.
Oh, and I want to address something that Kalen said. He said Disney is creatively bankrupt. I agree. All they know how to do is recreate inferior versions of movies that
So what do you think
exist.
it is? You think it's the corporate recycling mechanism?
Yes.
That it breeds, it starts to, after a while, starts to breed mediocrity? Or why aren't they pushing the envelope? Why is it that
they don't have to? That's why.
So you're saying, so it's just a matter of like
any
profit.
creativity requires risk. And they don't need risk. They are investing
right.
$1 bazillion into every product in order to make sure that anyone who consumes it, to make sure that the majority of people who consume it are sufficiently bedazzled and entertained. And that mainly consists of people who just haven't so it's parents that have seen something when they were a kid and they're taking their kid to see something with the same name. And here's the thing, all they need to do is get them there. Get them to the box office, get them into the theater seat and buying the ticket. Whether or not they like it doesn't matter because they already paid for the ticket. Right? They just don't need to. They're so big. They bought all the IP. The IP is what's doing the work for them, and the special effects guys and the actors, right? It's the production. Like that's what's really sad to me about Disney is that they have the money and the talent behind the acting and the production.
They have all of it.
That whatever they produce, at least it's going to look nice. And that's kind of all.
Not even anymore. The Marvel stuff on Disney doesn't look nice.
Well, it's because
a lot of it doesn't. Some of it does.
Yeah, and it's because people are speaking out. That's the thing. The worst part of Disney is their strategy is let's pretend or let's spin all the hate we're getting by saying these are all trolls. They say all these people who are saying negative, who are criticizing our stuff, are either racist or they're istophobes of some kind, or they're trolls, and they don't really mean this. They just are saying this for attention. And they blame the audience for not liking their stuff instead of, instead of actually being honest about what the criticism is, listening to people and trying to figure out what they want. Because here's the thing. Often people don't know what they want, and often people will complain, and you can't just take everything people says at face value. You have to listen to them, and people don't know how to make movies. They don't know how to write. They just express what they don't like. And so, if you're a creator and you're dishonest, then you just say, oh, well, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about, but they still feel a certain way. And so the only way to figure out why they don't like your thing is by translating what they're saying into your medium and investigating it with an honest pair of eyes. And trying to figure out what it is they don't like. And there's plenty of people that are spelling it out, right? But it's so much easier to just say, you're a bad person for saying these things. Everyone who supports what we're doing, people support Star Wars, people support Marvel movies without having to see the movies themselves. They've already seen a bunch of Star Wars movies and Marvel movies that they've loved. So they know that they're supporting a thing that they love. And so anyone who comes out against it, it's easy for Disney to say, hey guys, they're talking about, they hate this thing that you love. They must be bad people. And it's very easy for them to cover up their bad behavior that way. Or not even bad behavior, just laziness.
It's not
they just buy up the IP.
There's a lot of that. It's not me, it's you.
Exactly. So that can't go on forever. So, it's happening. It's going to continue to happen until they go bankrupt or until they buy more IP. And that new IP will continue to, subsidize the IP that's not doing so well until they sell off the IP that's not doing so well. So eventually they're going to sell Marvel if they continue to screw it up. And maybe it'll be in better hands at that point, right? I don't know. I can't really pretend to know exactly what's going to happen. All I know is that I used to like Disney, back in the 90s when I was a kid, when they were bringing out Aladdin and, what else?
Prince
the Lion King. What else was in the 90s? Little Mermaid was 89. I wasn't a big fan of that one.
Me neither. Oh, but there were big ass penises in the intro.
There were. Man, what else came out in the 90s?
That's such
Disney?
An awesome subversion. How amazing. That person must have been pissed off. I wonder what their boss
Beauty and the
must have
Beast.
told him that day. The artist was like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna put dicks in it." It had to be something.
Yeah. Burn Dean says never sell your IPs. I agree. Mm-hmm. What else was in the 90s? Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King.
That's it.
Was that it? That can't have been it.
No. I don't know. The Emperor's New Groove.
Emperor's New Groove. That was early 2000s, I think.
Hercules.
Hercules might have been late 99 or something.
Atlantis.
Was Mulan in the 90s? I thought that was early 2000s as well.
Yeah? I don't know.
Yeah. I liked those movies, and then they remade them into worse movies.
Oh, yeah.
And it's their IP.
Have you guys seen Pinocchio?
Oh, God. I've only seen reviews.
We got halfway through it, and I kept feeling gross. I was just ugh. And then we just stopped, and yeah, it's a live action, and it looks just like the cartoon, and it's creep. I don't know. It's weird.
No, thanks. I want to watch Del Toro's new Pinocchio that's coming out this year. That looks fun, because it's stop motion, number one. Yeah. Number two, it leans into the creepy.
Yeah, and he bones a fish.
Really?
No. He made that movie though. That was his movie. Was it
I
called
would watch that because
it was
it's not
called,
trying to remake the original. It's a completely different spin, right?
It's that movie. The Color of Water? No, it's called
The Shape of Water.
The Shape. Was that it? The Shape of Water?
The Shape of Water, yeah.
Yeah, watch The Shape of Water, Sarah, and you'll understand what I mean.
Oh my God, Toy Story. And Toy Story's not really Disney, is it? It's Pixar. Disney has put their money behind it. It's Pixar. And
yeah, Pixar's dope.
Pixar is
awesome.
Still one of the best media production companies ever.
Pixar's awesome. I mean, you know what's really cool? There's a video on Soul, on the piano, because there's always a secondary focus on the movies, like maybe they're focusing on water for this movie, or maybe they're focusing on the hand movement. So in Soul, it's all the piano.
Soul, yes, legit. Soul.
It's all real piano.
Yes, it's super
and that's
good.
it's you know,
it's so good.
Yeah, and
so
Wall-E and
Wall-E. And Up.
Yeah, those movies are so good.
The most heartbreaking first 10 minutes of any movie ever.
Yeah, that was
Up.
sad.
Oh, dude, I cried like a little bitch through that first 10 minutes of that movie.
Yeah.
So good. Well, all right. I think that's a wrap. What do you think?
I think that's a wrap.
I think that's a wrap.
Play the Avatar music. Play us out.
Let's play the Avatar music.
Let's get copyright struck for the 30th time.
Should I be a Navi as well? I'll be a Navi with you.
Put on your Navi. Oh, whoa. It was a trick. I've been trick and trapped.
Bye, everyone. I hope you had a good night. Soundbooth Feed Alive will be back in 2 Wednesdays.